What do you say?
Ranganath, this three great fundamental realization is described in the previous three paras, no?
Yeah. That's
So,
right.
in brief, it is first is
The
that you
fundamental
realize the
realization.
self.
Tell me. You tell me.
The first is that you realize the self, supreme self within you.
That's a transcendental, yes.
Then the second is when you see in others around you.
Oh, acha, okay. Those are the effects. But what you mean
Okay.
by the fundamentals is that you see the divine in himself without
Hmm.
the universe. That's a transcendental.
Hmm.
Okay? The what you are saying are the results of that.
Oh, okay.
Okay? The transcendental experience is that you see the divine in himself without the universe. That's the first one. You see him as a transcendental, transcending the universe.
Hmm.
You don't see the universe at all when you see only the divine. But you don't see
Yes.
the divine personal aspect, you see it as the impersonal aspect. You feel a
Yes.
presence, you feel a peace, you feel a absolutely calm, quiet, wideness, you feel yourself to be free. This is the transcendental experience. The
So that is
transcendental,
one of the realization, no? One of
yes,
the
that's
three
right.
realization.
That's right.
Yes.
The second one is the cosmic. You see the divine in the cosmos. And that
Yes.
is where your what you are saying comes in. Either you see the divine in others first, or you see the divine in yourself. Both
Hmm.
are the cosmic consciousness.
Okay.
Okay, that's the second one. The second fundamental experience of the cosmic. And in the cosmic, there are two, as I told you. One is you
Hmm.
see the divine outside yourself, in the
Hmm.
universe, in others, in even in animals, everywhere you see the divine presence. That's the
Hmm.
cosmic, second one. And the third one is you see the divine in yourself. But when you are seeing the divine within yourself, it's a personal aspect. Okay? And
Okay.
you feel his presence and you feel his help and you feel his giving you peace and all. It may be personal, but it may be an intense devotion also to the divine.
Hmm.
That's the individual. And when you are having any of these, you need not have the other experiences. That's the whole point. Okay.
Hmm.
But Srimda wants all the three together. He says only
Hmm.
then you will understand what the divine is.
Okay.
Are you clear?
Yes, Rangada,
Yeah,
merci.
these are the fundamental experiences, the transcendental, the cosmic, and the individual. And what you are saying, seeing the divine in others or in yourself, that both belong to the second level of the cosmic consciousness.
Yes.
Okay? So that's what you said in the previous para. And Shilpa, good morning. Archana Di, good morning. So we start reading. But before we start reading,
Morning, Rangada.
yeah, oh, you have joined. Okay. No, sorry. Pallu is already recorded. So I'll read out to you the summary of what you said earlier. Okay. Then we will proceed with because then you'll get the continuity. Now, what Sridhar is saying in the previous para, the three fundamental realizations of the divine have been dealt with in the three previous paragraphs. Okay. And what are they? The individual. You see the divine within yourself. That has been described on page 116. The cosmic, described on page 116 and 117. Okay. And the cosmic is you see the divine in the cosmos, but you may also see the cosmos within yourself, or you may see yourself in the cosmos. Okay. Both are there. So the calls them apprehending consciousness and comprehending consciousness. The concept is clear. That's what Pallu was
Hmm.
talking about. You see the divine in others, but when you are seeing them in others, okay, not only others means even the divine presence is there in stones, in insects, everywhere you see the divine presence. He calls that the reality omnipresent in the life divine. The reality omnipresent, it is there everywhere, but we don't see it. But when we develop a subtle sight and a subtle sense, we see the divine presence, or you feel it. Surendra uses the words often feel, okay? But that also is fantastic. Feeling that he is near me, but you don't really see him. Okay? Okay, that also is possible. That's it. Then the final, the transcendent, which is described on the 117, 118. So these are the three fundamental experiences. But Swendo is going to tell you that if you want to escape from the world, any of these is enough. No problem. You experience, and it is so wonderful that you don't want to have anything to do with the physical world, except the cosmic. Okay, when you use the cosmic, you are not wanting to escape from the physical world because you see the cosmos, you see the divine in the cosmos. Why should you run away? Okay, so then he says in the previous paragraph, so fundamental and so convincing are these experiences that the sadhaka of the Jnana Yoga, normally, the Jnana Yoga, considers them as final, ultimate, self sufficient, needing no other. It's so satisfying. Peace, calm, okay, sense of infinity, sense of freedom. That's it. But to the seeker of the integral yoga, these experiences may come suddenly, many possibilities. Number one, suddenly, even at an early stage. That's what happened to Sri Aurobindo. Or it can come by miraculous grace. He's saying miraculous grace, but he deserved the grace. We, those who deserve the grace, it can come. Or the third possibility, it can be achieved with difficulty after a long struggle. Even if you are a integral practitioner of the integral yoga, it may come after a long struggle of difficulty. But they are not the final. All these fundamental experiences are not the final, nor are they truths of existence. They are not absolute truths of existence. They are truths of existence, but not absolute truths. Rather, they are the beginning of a much vaster and more powerful yoga, which includes bliss and power. There you are. Okay. So, in uh, bliss may not be there, okay, in the transcendental. It can be there and need not be there. And power also is there. Even in this second level, power comes, but limited. When you go to the third level only, you get full power. Okay. So then he's saying there are other aspects of the divinity that have to be explored, discovered, and realized. Okay. And what are those? We'll just discuss that quickly. Just 1 second. I have to correct some of my. Yeah. So this is. Then the fundamental experiences are the individual, the cosmic, and the transcendental. But there are instrumental experiences also. Okay? That means you see the connection between your body and Sat. So what are those experiences, instrumental experiences? He is explained to you. Body corresponds to Sat, subtle substance. Your body is a gross substance, but it is related to, it is connected with Sat, the subtlest of substance. Then your life, your vital, is connected to Chit Shakti. Everybody does not see this. They see them as totally different, opposed to each other. But certainly saying there is a connection. Your mind is connected to the supermind. Okay? These connections, when you realize, then they are called instrumental realizations. Not fundamental, but instrumental. Because body, mind, life are instruments. Their interaction and their rather distant, again one more correction, their rather distant relations are of primary importance in an integral yoga. So, it is true that the instrumentals are a little far away, but they are absolutely essential for an integral yoga because you are not going to escape from the world. The essential identity of Satchidananda and cosmos, or you can also speak of it as spirit and matter, you can also speak of it as cosmos or spirit and matter, then is a key to the next step of evolution in Sri Aurobindo philosophy and yoga. He's saying you have to realize the connection between the two. Okay? So, this is what he said in the previous paragraph. Now we start reading the paragraph we have to read today. So, if a departure. Have we read it already?
No.
We have.
No, we haven't.
Okay. Then, Pallu, you read. Tuesday belongs to you. Because you began the class. Okay, read the para. If a departure.
I- If a departure from the world and its activities, a supreme release and quietude were the sole aim of the seeker, the three great fundamental realizations would be sufficient for the fulfillment of his spiritual life. Concentrated in them alone, he could suffer all other divine and mundane knowledge to fall away from him and himself unencumbered, depart into the eternal silence. But he has to take account of the world and its activities, learn what divine truth there may be behind them, and reconcile that apparent opposition between the divine truth and the manifest creation, which is the starting point of most spiritual experience. Here, on each line of approach that he can take, he is confronted with a constant duality, a separation between two terms of existence that seem to be opposites and their oppositions to be the very root of the riddle of the universe. Later, he may and does discover that these are the two poles of one being, connected by two simultaneous currents of energy, negative and positive, in relation to each other, their interaction the very condition for the manifestation of what is within the being, their reunion appointed means for the reconciliation of life's discords and for the discovery of the integral truth of which he is the seeker.
Yeah. So, not a very big para, very small para, but Friend is saying now, very clearly he is explaining that if your intention in doing yoga is to have peace and calm and release, because you are seeing in the physical world so much of suffering, so much of anxiety, so much of perversity, falsehood, you want to get away from that. Is it valid? Yes, it is valid for most human beings. Shiva also it is valid, but he wants to go even beyond that. So the validity of wanting to escape from the physical world is fine. Shiva is fine with that. And if you want to do that, any one of the three fundamental realizations is enough for that. Enough. You see the divine in yourself, and it is so wonderful that you don't care for human relationships. So you escape from the physical world. Or if you have the transcendent experience also, it is so wonderful, so he has told you earlier that it is so final that you feel that this is the ultimate truth. So you want to escape. You want to have only peace and calm. The thought of power and bliss may not even come to you. Sometimes it can come because there are people who have experienced in the second level of the spiritual planes of consciousness also they have experienced bliss. And power also is there, but usually it is not so manifest. Power is there, but in a very limited way. So that's what Sanjay is saying. And but if you want to go beyond, you must also get the instrumentals, instrumental realizations. The body is not something useless, it's not a mere machine. It is something that is created out of the subtlest of substance. But that subtlest of substance has become gross substance here, yet there is a connection between the two. And if there is a connection, it can be purified. Okay? Then this is Sat. Then he is also saying your vital. Your vital is usually so impure and so many. There are higher vital also. You can have sympathy, love, genuine love. You can have sympathy. You can have goodwill. You can have generosity. You can have virtues. All these things are also there in the higher vital. The lower vital is usually very murky and full of dirt. Okay, um, hatred, repulsion, okay, um, lack of understanding, selfishness, all these things are there in the lower vital. But it's a fallen condition of Chit Shakti. It is connected because remember, the one becoming the many is still the one secretly. At the highest level, the one is without the manifestation of the many, but when that one comes down and manifests in the physical world, it becomes the many. It hides itself. Light becomes darkness, but in the darkness also light is there lurking in the background. That's what he's saying. So you must know this. Now I read each sentence and this is basically what he's saying. If a departure from the world and its activities, Who is doing this? Who is suggesting this? Either the Buddhist or the Mayavadin. The one who wants only peace and calm and liberation and no more rebirth. You must escape from rebirth. Has been the cry in the Indian yogic system for many, many centuries. Okay. So, if a departure from the world and its activities, a supreme release and quietude, where the sole aim of the seeker, the three great fundamental realizations would be sufficient for the fulfillment of his spiritual life. He has got, he knows what is the ultimate reality, he knows the physical world to be a distorted image, and he doesn't want to have anything to do with it. Okay? He would be sufficient for the fulfillment of his spiritual life. And Srendra put a colon there and he says, how it is enough, he is explaining. Concentrated in them alone, he could suffer all other divine and mundane knowledge to fall away from him and himself unencumbered without any uh, unnecessary baggage. You don't need to carry any baggage. The body is a baggage, the vital is a baggage, the mind also is baggage, okay? Heavy and slowing you down. Right? Unencumbered. Depart into the eternal silence. You can do that. One of these experiences is enough. But he has to, but now Sembhai is saying there are other things also, you don't need to stop there. But he has to take account of the world and its activities, learn what divine truth there may be behind them, and reconcile that apparent opposition between the divine truth and the manifest creation, which is the starting point of most spiritual experience. All spiritual experience starts with the where you see the physical world and you feel that there is something missing. There are so many questions that can come up. Who has created this world? How did it come into existence? Okay, everything that I see is made by somebody. Okay, my computer is made by somebody. My mobile is made by somebody. Okay, I can see so many things. Even my table is made by somebody. Who has created the universe? That question can come up at a very early age also. There are many children also who ask those questions to themselves. From where have I come? That also is something that children ask their parents sometimes, their mother. Okay, so if that is enough, then you don't need to worry. But he has to take account of the world and its activities. Learn what divine truth there may be behind them, behind the activities of the world, and reconcile that apparent opposition between the divine truth and the manifest creation, which is the starting point of most spiritual experience. Here, on each line of approach, each line he has taken the three. No? So, the three fundamental lines of approach that he can take, he is confronted with a constant duality, a separation between the two terms of existence that seem to be opposites. Earlier he said apparent opposition, now he is saying seem to be opposites, and their opposition to be the very root of the riddle of the universe. What is the riddle of the universe? When you see suffering, you wonder why it is like that. Why should there be suffering? If you are a materialist, then the suffering is a problem to you. But you handle it as you can. If you are a believer in the divine, then suffering is a huge problem for you. How can the divine have created suffering? So it's a riddle of the universe. Okay? And you see the imperfections and all that, you feel repulsed by that. Later he may and does discover that these two poles, these are the two poles of one being, connected by two simultaneous currents of energy, negative and positive, in relation to each other. Their interaction, the very condition for the manifestation of what is within the being. Okay. Their reunion, the appointed means for the reconciliation of life's discords and for the discovery of the integral truth of which he is the seeker. So, if you are a Buddhist or a Mayavadan and that's your aim, no problem. You reject the physical world and go out. But if you are a follower of the integral yoga, you want the divine and you don't want to reject the world, but there is a problem. You see the physical world as the opposite of the divine. The divine is truth, but here you see falsehood. Everyone, including telling lies and doing the wrong things. Then the divine is one, but here there is a multiplicity. The divine is light, but here you see the opposite. Divine is knowledge, but you see everywhere ignorance. Okay? So it's a problem. Then you realize that really they are not opposites, but they are connected with each other, and it's a diminution. Okay? Later, somebody is saying the word, later he realizes that. Okay? Later he realizes he may and does discover that, now note that, he may, or he may not also. Later he may and does discover that these are the two poles of one being. That one being is Satchidananda. Satchidananda at the highest level is pure and itself. But Satchidananda in the physical world is a manifestation, it's a shadow, it's an expression of it. Okay? So that's what it is. They are the same connected as light and darkness, okay, the one and the many, that's what he's saying, the personal and the impersonal. Connected by two simultaneous currents of energy, negative and positive, in relation to each other. In the physical world, you see dualities. And the truth of that is exactly this. The dualities are seeming opposites, but they are actually not seeming opposites, but they are the two extremes of the same fundamental substance. That substance can take a negative way and a positive way. Now he is saying something interesting and you have to see what he means. I often ask this question to the students. Connected by two simultaneous currents of energy, negative and positive. What is the saying? Which is the negative and which is the positive? I ask them. Then sometimes they reply, oh, the positive is the divine and the negative is the physical world. Then I have to tell them again that no, if you are a materialist, then the physical world is positive for you and the divine is negative for you. That's why I'm saying in relation to each other. Okay, so both are valid. And if you are a ascetic, then the spirit is positive for you and the physical world is negative for you. So they are relative in relation to each other, negative and positive. Okay? Plus, minus. Their interaction, the very condition for the manifestation of what is within the being, okay? The being with a B cap. Okay, so he's saying, so you can take the meaning of being as within yourself or as the substance at the Satchidananda level, at the highest level. Their reunion, the appointed means for the reconciliation of life's discords. Okay? All the discords, all the dualities of life can be finally solved and harmonized if you bring the two together. And what are the two? Spirit and matter. God and the physical world. Not rejection, but reconciliation. Okay? And if you do that, you will discover that the integral truth of which he is the seeker. You will discover that the integral truth is the divine is transcendental, but he is also the cosmic and the individual. Everything is the divine. We are starting from the Advaita philosophy. There are many who don't have the Advaitic conception and they have the dualistic approach. Manichaeism, Islam, and also Christianity to a certain extent. The divine is not in the physical world, he is up there. That's what Shaiva is saying. But the integral yoga, everything is divine. You are seeing it as imperfect, but that's your problem. Get rid of your problem, you'll see the divine everywhere. Okay? So, we go to the next para. We've got plenty of time.
I will read.
Yes, please.
For on one side, he is aware of his self everywhere. This everlasting spirit substance, Brahman, the eternal, the same self-existence here in time behind each appearance, he sees or senses and timeless beyond the universe. He has this strong, overpowering experience of a self that is neither our limited ego nor our mind, life, or body, worldwide but not outwardly phenomenal, yet to some spirit sense in him more concrete than any form or phenomenon. Universal yet not dependent for its being on anything in the universe or on the whole totality of the universe. If all this were to disappear, its extinction would make no difference to this eternal of his constant intimate experience. He is sure of an inexpressible self existence, which is the essence of himself and all things. He is intimately aware of an essential consciousness of which thinking mind and life sense and body sense are only partial and diminished figures. A consciousness with an illimitable force in it, of which all energies are the outcome, but which is yet not explained or accounted for by the sum or power or nature of all these energies together. He feels he lives in an inalienable, self existent bliss, which is not this lesser transient joy or happiness or pleasure, a changeless, imperishable infinity, a timeless eternity, a self awareness which is not this receptive and reactive or tentacular mental consciousness, but is behind and above it and present to below it, even in what we call inconscience, a oneness in which there is no possibility of any other existence, are the fourfold character of this settled experience. Yet this eternal self-existence is seen by him also as a conscious time spirit bearing the stream of happenings, a self-extended spiritual space containing all things and beings, a spirit substance which is the very form and material of all that seems non-spiritual, temporary, and finite. For all that is transitory, temporal, spatial, bounded, is yet felt by him to be in its substance and energy and power no other than the one, the eternal, the infinite.
Biggish para, there are a lot of things that we have to clarify. Not only concepts but also language. Okay, so what he has told you earlier that the integral yoga cannot reject the physical world. Okay. And yet now he is discussing what happens when the integral yogi experiences the self. The self, you remember, we have said that it is the Atman or the Brahman consciousness. Okay? You can also think of it as a Nirvana. Different philosophies speak of it in different ways, but this is the same experience. So now we look at the words carefully. For on one side, now note that he is describing only the self, and when you see the self, the world doesn't exist for you. So that's why he is beginning with for on one side. But on the other side, you see the physical world, and he wants you to combine the two. But now he is describing only the experience of the self. In the second plane, the spiritual planes of consciousness. And what is that experience? For on one side, he is aware of this self everywhere. Okay? You feel it everywhere. In the physical world also you feel it everywhere. Okay? This is what Sri calls in the whole chapter in Life Divine, reality omnipresent. You see a presence everywhere. You feel a presence. Okay? You see that everything is throbbing with life and consciousness.
That is the cosmic experience, no?
He is describing here the transcendental, but when you are seeing the transcendental, you are seeing it everywhere, okay? But the forms may, as I told you, it can be cosmic, it need not be cosmic also. He is paying importance here to the only the experience of the divine presence. Okay? You see it everywhere. We'll read further and he will clarify. All these are possible. What you said just now is also possible, but what you have to think also that you have seen the self, the divine presence everywhere, but without the reality of the cosmos. He is there filling the whole universe, but the universe seems to be only shadow forms. That also is possible. So, on one side, he is describing the one side. When he is describing the other side, he will say that There is a combination of that. So, note though he is beginning the sentence on one side. He is deciding, he is talking only of the self. He is aware of the self everywhere, this everlasting spirit substance. Now note that. He's got three words there. Everlasting, which means immortal, which means he has used another place, imperishable. It is lasting forever. Nothing can destroy it. Everlasting. Then it is spirit, but it's also substance. So very clearly he is telling you that the divine also is a substance, but very, very subtle substance. Don't think that the divine is not substance. He is a substance, okay, but very subtle substance. That's why he uses the word spirit substance. Okay. When he wants to speak of subtle substance, he speaks of existence. And when he wants to speak of matter, he says substance. But here he is combining the two. Spirit substance. Substance at the subtlest level. And what is that? The Brahman, the eternal. He has used the word everlasting, now he is using the word eternal. Okay? It is always there. The same self-existence, here in time, beyond each appearance. So, again we look at the word self-existence. It is not an existence by itself. A stone is an existence, but it can disappear. Okay? An animal is also an existence, but it can disappear. But this self-existence, it depends only upon itself. It doesn't disappear. That's what it's meaning. Self-existence. The word self-existence, it doesn't need any cause. It is itself the cause. That's what it meant. Self-existence here in time. So, he is talking here on time. So, he is talking of the divine presence in the cosmos, in time, behind each appearance. Now see that, he is using the word appearance. So just now when Pallu intervened to say, that's exactly what he's describing. You see the physical world, but the physical world is only appearance. It is not reality. And behind the appearance, you are seeing this spirit substance everywhere. Okay? Very clear what he's saying. The same self exists here in time, behind each appearance. So in time, he is telling me in the cosmos. Appear also is very clearly, he is referring to the cosmos. He sees or senses. Now see that. Again he is saying several types of experiences are possible. Okay? Either you can see it or you can sense it, you can feel it. Okay? That's interesting. He is taking both. Some people may feel the presence. Some people may see the presence, depending on individual nature. Each appearance he sees or senses, and timeless beyond the universe. Okay. So you have to connect that and timeless, it seems to hang, but actually you see the self-existence here in time, or you may see him in the timeless. So the Pallu's question was, now he is answering very clearly. You can have the experience of the self in the cosmos, in time and appearance, or you can also see it in the timeless. In other words, beyond the universe. Okay? So his one sentence is engrossing, and he is including all the experiences possible. See, four possibilities. Either you see the transcendental in the universe, or you see him outside the universe. And the other two possibilities, you may see this transcendence, or you may feel the transcendence. See, his sentence is so all-inclusive. That's how he is. He is so global and so all-inclusive. His philosophy also and his words, his prose also is like that. Okay? Very clear. But you have to concentrate on each phrase and each thing. Then, in time and beyond experience in the cosmos, and timeless beyond the also that, beyond the universe, that also is possible. He has this strong, overpower experience of a self that is neither our limited ego nor our mind, life and body. It is not body, mind, life, nor is it the ego. In fact, when you go to the self, the ego disappears because you become vast and infinite. You don't feel yourself located anywhere. You feel yourself to be everywhere. Worldwide, but not outwardly phenomenal. Again, here you have to understand. Worldwide, you are there everywhere, in the world, but not outwardly phenomenal. You don't belong to the world. You are in the world, but you don't belong to the world. That's exactly what he's saying. Okay? So, yet to some spirit sense in him more concrete than any form or phenomenon. Form is a forms in the physical world, stones, okay, insects, animals, human beings, forms. Phenomenon, events. Okay? Events also are, they are fleeting. They come into existence and then disappear. Every event in the physical world is a phenomenon. Universal, yet not dependent for its being on anything in the universe or on the whole totality of the universe. So you see this divine presence in the physical world, or you may see him outside, as I told you in the first sentence. But even when you see him in the physical world, it is not dependent on the physical world. It is dependent only on itself. He has told you self-existence. A stone, an animal, an insect, trees, human beings are all dependent of the universe. You come into existence because of the universe and you disappear into the universe because of the universe. But this presence that you see, it has nothing to do with the universe. It is there in the universe, yet it is free of the universe. It is not conditioned by the universe. Okay? Universal, yet not dependent being on anything in the universe or on the whole totality of the universe. Is going so far. If all this were to disappear, its extinction would make no difference to this eternal and constant intimate experience. The self, if the self disappears, the world disappears. If the self does not, if the world disappears, the self will continue to remain. In fact, that's the experience of the transcendental. The world disappears, but the self is always there. Okay? That's the real cause. The universe is a result, it's an effect, it's a manifestation of the self. He is sure. Who is the he? The seeker. This, the seeker of the integral yoga. Yes, refer to the seeker, the last word of the previous paragraph. Okay? So he is the seeker. He is sure of an inexpressible self-existence. Inexpressible, you can't put it into words. Self-existence, which is the essence of himself and all things. Now we have to understand the word essence. The reality, the hard core, the essence of a fruit is the seed. The essence of a man is the psychic being inside him. Okay? The essence of everything is the subtlest truth of everything. Essential of the essence. Okay? So, where are we? Yeah. He is sure of an inexpressible self, which is the essence of himself and all things. He is intimately aware of an essential consciousness of which thinking mind and life sense and body sense are only partial and diminished figures. So, this consciousness which is there, you may feel that I am conscious because of my mind, but Srinath is telling you very clearly here that no, consciousness enters into the mind and seems to be mental consciousness. But it can also go into the life and seem to be life consciousness. Okay? It can also go into the body sense, into the body and feel there is a body consciousness. We have discussed many times this body consciousness. Huh? You must remember that. Consciousness can take its stand at the highest level or even at the lowest level or in the middle terms. The body consciousness is, examples we have given so many times, okay? The body is conscious of itself at a very, very low level. It can cure itself, okay? It heals itself. When there is a wound, it prevents blood from coming out. You are not doing that mentally. The body itself is doing it. That's body consciousness. When you are sneezing or you are coughing, the body knows that this is something harmful to me and it ejects it. Even vomiting, okay, is an aspect of body consciousness. The body knows that this is something that I don't want inside me and it throws it out. It's not a mental effort at all. It's consciousness at the body level. At the mind level, at the life level, an animal when it feels hungry, it's a life consciousness. When it's feeling tired, it needs to rest. That's consciousness. Its action is determined by consciousness at the life level. Even your thoughts are all mental consciousness. But consciousness itself is a C cap. Can be at the highest level, it can be at the spiritual level, it can be at the mental level, life level, body level, but it can also be sleeping in the inconscient. Okay, that's consciousness. You remember we have given a write-up on consciousness? So you refer to that. You will see that consciousness is there everywhere, of which thinking mind and life sense and body sense are only partial and diminished figures. A consciousness seeker with an illimitable force in it. Now that's another thing he's adding. This consciousness has always got force in it. Chit Shakti in it, of which all energies are the outcome. Okay. What are the all energies and what is the force? The force is Shakti, but this force in the physical world takes on the form of energies. Okay. The storm is an energy. It's a manifestation of Shakti. It is not Shakti itself. It's a manifestation of Shakti. The tides coming in, a manifestation of Shakti. The river flowing is Shakti. Mechanical force, electrical force, okay? All these are muscular force. All these are, certainly is an interesting word, these are energism, okay? Very limited energy. They are all aspects of Shakti, which is, you never see the Shakti itself. You see the effects of Shakti in the physical world. You don't see electricity, but you see its manifestations. You can run a motor, you can run your heater, you can run your air conditioner, you can run your washing machine, but you don't see it. Okay? That's what Shraddha is saying, the consciousness which you don't see, but its effects are there. But consciousness and force are also the same thing, with an illimitable force in it, of which all these energies are the outcome, but which is not explained or accounted for by the sum or power or nature of all these energies together. Even if you put all these together, you don't understand or see the Shakti, which is the origin of all these things. For by the sum or power or nature of all these energies put together, he feels, he lives in an inalienable self-existent bliss. When you are in the self, you, if you are lucky, you will also feel the bliss, which is not this lesser transient joy or happiness or pleasure. A changeless, imperishable infinity. Look at the words changeless. He uses the word immutable and static. It is changeless. Imperishable, eternal and timeless. Eternal, imperishable, infinity. Also it is infinite, not finite. A timeless eternity. But there is also a time eternity in the physical world. Huh? So timeless eternity is describing the self. A self-awareness which is not this receptive and reactive and tentacular mental consciousness. Now, we have to explain receptive and reactive. Okay? When a man or even an animal is in the physical world, there are two movements. You are reacting with the universe and the universe is acting on you. Okay? The universe is acting on you by the supplying the visual data. These scenes are coming on your retina and striking your retina and it being transferred to the brain. So the universe is coming into you through your eyes, but the universe can also come through you through the ears. It can come through taste, it can come through smell, it can come through touch. So the universe is interacting with you. Okay? You are receiving the impacts of the universe. But when you are reacting to these infinite, okay, I see something and I react. So the individual is coming into contact with the universe through his reactions. So in our Indian philosophy we call them Jnana Yoga and Karma Yoga. Okay? Jnanendriya and Karmendriya. Jnanendriya, the senses are giving you jnana of the physical world. Okay? So it's the incoming. Inferent and efferent. So they use these words. So receptive means exactly that. You are receiving the impacts of the world through your senses. Okay? And you are reacting with them. So what are the Jnanendriyas? Your eyes, your ears, your nose, your tongue and your touch. Okay, your skin. And what are the reactive or the karmendriyas? You are interacting with the physical world through your hands. Your hands are allowing you to have action in the physical world. I pluck a fruit, I am interacting with the world. Okay? I kick a football, I am interacting with my legs in the universe. So hands and legs. Then there is the two organs at the lower end of the body for excretion and reproduction. So there also you are interacting with the world. So these are the four: hands, legs, and the two organs at the lower end of the body. But there is a fifth one. Okay, Karmendriya are three. That usually we miss, but it is your mouth, your speech. I can have a tremendous effect in the world with my very kind words or with my very cruel words. There's an effect in the physical world. So this is what Sriyamba means by receptive and reacting. And tentacular, tentacular mental consciousness. Tentacular means having many sides, okay, to it. So this is what he is describing by receptive, reactive, and tentacular. See, he is not going into details. He is just explaining. So, but it's behind and above it. So this consciousness that you are seeing has nothing to do with your karmendriyas and the jnanendriyas. They are all very limited to the physical. But we are now going beyond. But is behind and above it and present to below it. Now look at that. Okay, it is there everywhere. It is beyond it, above it, and present below it. This consciousness or this presence or force is there outside the universe, in the universe, and even below in the inconscient. It is there. Even in what we call inconscience, a oneness in which there is no possibility of any other existence, are the fourfold character of this settled experience. So which are the fourfold character? Existence, consciousness, force, and bliss. These are the fourfold realities. Consciousness above, consciousness below, consciousness around. That also is a fourfold consciousness. That is, this is the way he is explaining the fourfold. Okay, so the fourfold character of this subtle experience. Yet, this eternal self-existence, I'll finish the paragraph, 835 already, I'll finish the paragraph. Yet this eternal self-existence is seen by him also as a conscious time spirit, bearing the stream of happenings, a self-extended spiritual space containing all things and beings, a spirit substance which is the very form and material of all that seems non-spiritual, temporary and finite. In other words, you can see the physical world as the divine presence is there in the physical world. Time spirit. He has told you earlier, timeless eternity. Now he is telling you time spirit. The physical world is in time. But the divine presence also you see it in time. Bearing the stream of happenings. You see the divine arranging everything, and everything is happening because of this divine presence. A self-extended spiritual space containing all things and beings. A spirit substance which is the very form and material of all that seems non-spiritual, temporary and finite. So everything that you see, stones, trees, everything temporary and finite, but behind that is a divine presence. For all that is transitory, temporal, spatial, bounded, is yet felt by him to be in its substance and energy and power no other than the one, the eternal and infinite. This experience that he's talking about here is 90% only available to the one who wants to see the physical world also as part of the divine. The Advaita philosophy. Okay. This is what we have gone into great detail to explain every word. I think it's clear. The next time we'll read, and yet there is not only in him. That is very all-inclusive. Everybody may not have experiences that he's talking about here. You can either have only, as I told you right in the beginning, you can have only the experience of the divine transcendentally or cosmic or individual. But Sriyamba wants all. Okay? We stop here today and next time, and yet there is not only. So we have to note that. I think Archana is already noting. So no problem.
Okay, Rangadhar. Merci. Bonne journée. Au revoir.